starts. Oh, are we back? Oh goodness. I didn't realize. So, and this is something that happened last night that I never failed to realize. And that was that, like, at halftime of the Celtics game, I was like going to go to YouTube, just watch something for a couple minutes. I need to be constantly stimulated. And then I was like, I got the message to my phone, Bruins Predators, 15 minutes. I was like, oh, that's right. My other team plays tonight. I just had Tuesday completely blocked off for the Celtics and the banner raising night. And I didn't even get to watch the banner go up. Thank you, TNT. But yes, the Bruins played last night. They played the Nashville Predators. Mike, how do you feel about that mascot?
Nashville Predators?
Yeah.
I don't like the name. I'm not I like the saber-toothed tiger. I mean, that's
cool,
great.
right?
Yeah, that's cool.
It's cool.
Predator, though? Yeah.
Yeah,
a little rough.
That's another Grace reference here. She cannot hear that name without A, saying how ugly she thinks the uniforms are, and B, how can it be 2024 and there's a team called the Predators?
Yeah, I get that.
It's tough. It's tough. I don't know what you do as Nashville. It's like, we know you're not talking about pedophiles.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I can't even say that on YouTube. They'll
Plebophiles.
Peter files.
Pedos.
Like, they know you're not talking about that, but it is kind of almost implied now. Yeah. That's a weird thing. But yeah, Corey, I'm on the air. I got people coming in here ready to fudge with everything. I'm just on the air. I'm on the air talking about Peter Files and them playing hockey. Yeah. But yes, the Bruins played last night, and it was a disaster. I mean, it was their worst game since, I don't know, January, February. 4-0, they dropped to Nashville. And I think we're faced with the fact that this team might stink. Their top 9 forwards stink right now. They can't generate anything 5-on-5. Nothing. In fact, in the game the other night, they only had 5 shots 5-on-5 for their first 3 lines in the game against Utah in that horrible arena. And last night, it did not get much better. They rolled out a second line of Max Jones, Charlie Coyle, and Trent Frederick. And yesterday, I couldn't handle myself. I couldn't trust myself yesterday when that line was announced, because someone on this Bruins Facebook group was like, here's the line. And I said, this has to be the worst second line in hockey. It just has to be. And I like those guys all individually for different reasons. They are not second line players, and they're all on the second line. And it's like, this is how bad the Bruins forward depth is. And we had Matt Barry talking about it last week. We'll have him on tomorrow, saying, I thought this team got better in the offseason, even after kind of a good start. When we talked to him last week, he's like, I don't know if this team's better. I think they got worse by letting DeBrusk walk. And I was out here saying, I think it's okay to let DeBrusk walk because I think he's underperformed, but how do you replace him? And they didn't replace him. Morgan Geekie is not replacing him. He's been a healthy scratch. He did put on 3 shots on goal yesterday, but Johnny Beecher and Matt Patra and Cole Koepke, that's not replacing Jake DeBrusk. We did get one bright spot in this game when Mark Kastelic dropped the gloves, and I don't want it to be like the saving grace from this game, but it was pretty sick. Can we get the dance on the ice, Mike?
You'll see who you talked about. He's already won the Norris once. We got a bout here on the right circle.
Pete and I can reenact it if you want. I'll be Mark Kastelic, and Pete can be Luke Schenn.
It's not coming up.
You'll see who you talked about. He's already won the Norris once. We got a bout here on the right circle. It's Kastelic dropping the gloves. Kastelic a right. Kastelic a right. Kastelic another right. He's going with Luke Schenn right now. Kastelic just a couple of right hooks. Kastelic again. Kastelic a right. He buckled Schenn, and down he goes.
Number 47, Number 2, Nashville. Both guys 5 each for fighting.
Right off the draw. Kastelic. Right inside that face-off circle. Now keep in mind, Luke Schenn's a defenseman. Probably some nonverbal communication that this was going to happen as soon as the puck was put into play. Kastelic get the better of this bout. Got a little nervous when I saw that right hand constantly maybe catching some helmet.
First off, that's as good a bout as you're going to see in the NHL these days. Like, they just don't let them go a lot. And it's Kastelic and Schenn. Schenn's got a couple inches on him, but they're the same weight. They're basically the same size. And Kastelic just knocks the crap out of him. Just knocks his brains in. Look at that. He was not chilling. And then, I mean, that's one of the great ref calls I've ever heard. Did you hear that, Mike?
I heard that.
5 minutes each for fighting. My man's trying to be in the WWE. Like, that's what he's trying to get to next. He's trying to be Michael Buffer.
That was very exciting. Very exciting.
That was sick.
Yeah.
I
understand the uniform hatred, though.
It's not. I mean, I wouldn't say it's a great uniform.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say. And plus, the thing with it, like, I think the jerseys itself are okay, but the problem is the yellow helmets to me really suck.
Yeah.
But if you do blue helmets, it also kind of looks odd. I don't know. I think they did white helmets at one point. It's not great.
It's the same gripe I have about the pajamas that they wear in the NFL. You know, it's all one color.
Color rush.
Bottom. Yeah. Looks like pajamas.
I guess. Who is the worst one?
I'll tell you what I hate the most is when anybody who's red is playing anybody else who's red. I hate that. It was the Chiefs and the Niners.
Better dead than red, I
Chiefs
say
and
that.
Niners playing the other day. So much red.
Oh, but two good uniforms.
Yeah, two pretty good
uniforms. Classic uniforms.
Yeah.
Bruins classic uniform.
Yeah.
Not good at the hockey, though. I mean, just, again, too many penalties, not putting enough shots on goal, just no offense generated at 5-on-5. Elias Lindholm has given you nothing offensively. He took a penalty in this one. He's a -3. He's the only Bruins forward that was a -3. Actually, only Bruins player who was -3. Elias Lindholm. That's a guy you're paying almost $8 million a year. Nikita Zadorov, another guy you're paying in free agency. He was -1. He got 4 shots, which isn't a great thing for the Bruins. And he's taken a penalty in all but one game this year. So, actually, no, he's taken a penalty in every game this year. Nikita Zadorov has taken a penalty in every game the Bruins have played this year. And Elias Lindholm is the only -3 on the night. Like, I know it's early in the season, but come on, guys. The reason why you don't look like you're as good is because the guys you brought in also have stunk. But this second line of Coyle, Jones, and Frederick, I mean, what are we doing? Oh, they're tough to play against. Yeah, but they can't put a shot on the goal. Like, how are you supposed to win games if you don't put shots on the net? And they were a little bit better with it last night. They didn't get crushed in that category. They ended up having, what was it? How many shots they have? Well, I can't find that pretty easily, which is silly. But like, why is that not just at the bottom of the screen? I see everyone's shots. I'm not adding all that up. But it was tight throughout the game. It's not like they were getting crushed like they usually do. But I just don't see, like, the problem coming into this season and why you thought the Elias Lindholm move was going to be so good was because it provided something for Pastrnak. You know, Bergeron was always, one of the great passers, one of the great playmakers, and you didn't have that last year. And Pasternak's numbers dipped, his effectiveness dipped because more teams were able to key in on him, especially on the power play. Like, who else are you going to worry about on that team? And now you bring in Elias Lindholm to be that guy, and the numbers are worse through the first couple of weeks. Like, Pastrnak, when he's scoring, he needs to do everything himself. No one is making plays on this team. Him included, by the way, Pastrnak included. Marchand, he's banged up, and he's just not an effective player right now. Like, the way you cut it, he's not making plays in any of the 3 zones. He's not killing penalties very well. He has not been a force on the power play, and that's going on 2 or 3 years now. They don't have effective special teams. Their goaltending, fine. And Swayman has not been great so far this season. He's been fine. They're not playing physically on the back end. All the bad things that we saw in this team are coming out right now, and it could be a mainstay. Their forwards do not generate offense. We saw it against Toronto last year and through most of the Florida series. Justin Brazeau is not an NHL player. He is not quick enough to play in the NHL. He's just not. Patra is still figuring it out. Cole Koepke, nice story. Is he going to be your leading scorer? Is Max Jones an NHL player? Should we be asking if Max Jones is an NHL player if he's playing on the second line? Morgan Geekie, was he what he gave you for 4 months last year, or is he the guy that put up these kind of numbers the rest of his career? Which guy is he? Pavel Zacha, is he the 20-25 goal scorer that you had on the best team in record-wise in the history of the NHL regular season? Or is he the guy who was like this in Jersey and was like this last year? 20 goals is it's a good mark, but he just doesn't provide you much offensively. He doesn't give you anything on the power play, and you're playing him out there anyway. He's a better penalty killer than he is in a power play, and he had more time on the power play last night than he did on the penalty kill. And was out there less than 12 minutes in even strength. Coyle is only out there for less than 9 minutes even strength, and he's your second line center. That just shows you the belief that they have in that line and the way this team is drawn up right now. But yeah, it stinks. It stinks. And Nashville, by the way, came into this at 0-5. 0-5. Blanked them 4-0. At no point in that game did Nashville look like a winless team because you made them not look like a winless team. You made them look like a team that had actually won a hockey game this year. 3-3-1, going back home. Not a great road trip. Bad against Utah, and even worse last night. And they almost gave the game away against Colorado. There's a lot of work that needs to be done. McAvoy was a -2, by the way, last night, who I thought had a good first couple of games of the season where he looked like the Bruce Cassidy, Charlie McAvoy. Hasn't looked like that on this road trip at all. Carlo got down and dirty. He's blocking shots all over the place, but he's a guy who's still not throwing that frame around, not providing anything offensively either. I just need a little something from him offensively. Gave it away 3 times. He was a -1. This team's got a lot of work to do. A lot of work to do to become as good as the Celtics. I'll say that. And by that, I mean they would have to become the best team in the world if they want to be like the Celtics.
Also got to get over that puck/ball thing.
Yeah. Yeah. They got to get over that, like, putting the puck in the net thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, give them some slack, Mike. They've scored a goal in the last 2 games.
Oh, nice job.
Goal.
Nice job.
Wow. Yeah, this team has a ton of work to do. And I don't know if it's so much on the GM. You know, we talked about this with Matt last week. It's like you're starting to see the effects of not having anything in the farm system because you went in for those trades at the deadline for so many years, which I can't sit back here and crater them for it now. Like I thought those were good moves, and I stick by that. I thought they made their teams better at the deadline, and they still choked in the postseason. And now you've got no one to call up from Providence because they just do not trust Fabian Lysell or Georgi Merkulov. They just say they're in Providence. They're Providence players. And that might be true, but when you're in a situation like this with your top 9 forwards, it's like kind of now or never, man. Like when are they going to be ready? And when do you have reinforcements coming in? Because right now the Bruins do not have any. They do not have, no one's coming to save them. And it's just a game of, hey, let's limp to the playoffs off some hopefully good goaltending and defense one of these days. Face Toronto again. You always face Toronto, and then we'll win a playoff series, and we'll try and spend some money again in the offseason. That's exactly what they went through last year, and it's going to be the same thing again this year, it looks like. And I don't know that they can get to home ice against Toronto. I don't know that you have a Game 7 in Boston again against Toronto. I think Toronto's a better team than what the Bruins are putting out there right now. Of that, I think there's no doubt. I think they are definitely a better team with more firepower. Bruins have a better goaltending situation, but I think they're so far beneath Toronto in their top 9 forwards that it's not going to make too much of a difference.